That brings us appropriately to our look at what's happened in New Orleans schools over the course of the past decade and the big changes they've undergone. It's a story we've reported on closely throughout. Tonight, John Tulenko of Education Week, which produces stories for the NewsHour, has our report.
As you can see, in parts of New Orleans, life seems to be getting back to normal 10 years after Katrina. But many folks are wondering about the public schools. For the last 10 years, they've been engaged in what some have called the most ambitious experiment ever in public education. And whether or not it's working depends on whom you ask.
I do see improvement in the kids and in the schools.
Is it working?
No.
The charter system has done tremendously well for the local kids here.
It's working for those people who have their money in their hand in the cookie jar.
I think they are better than they were 10 years ago.
10 years ago, New Orleans public schools were headed for rock bottom. Fewer than a third of 8th graders could pass a reading test, and corruption was so deep, the FBI had set up an office inside the school administration building.
And if they do what
Patrick Dobard, who oversees the schools today, remembers those days.
Orleans Parish School Board at that time, unfortunately, it was really academically and in some instances morally and financially bankrupt. And then Katrina came. When you have a catastrophe like that, it is an opportunity to start anew, because a lot of the institutional barriers, both real and perceived, were literally and figuratively, unfortunately, washed away.
Seizing the moment, the state took control of the city's failing schools. Pink slips were sent to all 5,000 teachers, and the state set out to remake New Orleans as a city where nearly all the schools would be independently run charters. Local school officials were no longer in charge.
I know you're ready because your eyes will be just on me. Thank you so much.
Some charters split up the boys and girls. Others focused on the arts. Most introduced uniforms and strict rules. And all were to be held accountable for results.
And then you have a 5-year contract. And if you don't meet the terms of that contract, we have the ability to not allow you to continue in existence.
Charters were new and different, and took some getting used to for parents like Cheryl Griffin.
The first time I came to a meeting here, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I was like, what kind of crap is this Bojangle? You know, what are they doing? I am not gonna be a part of this, you know? And so when I really got it, when I seen that Summer got it that way, I said, well, that's the process. The process is to get it. She loves it.
Definitely the environment is safe. Definitely the teachers, I mean, they're excellent teachers. They have more things for the kids to do.
Michael Franklin is another parent the charters won over.
With the charter school system, there's more creative thinking. I think there's more creative exploration for it and helping kids and ways to get kids to achieve their potential.
New schools were opening every year, and the results were promising.
We went up in every grade, in every subject. Congratulations.
Today, graduation rates have climbed from 54% to 73%. Test scores are substantially higher, and more students are enrolling in college. For some, New Orleans has become a model of urban school reform.
When I think about nationally people looking at it, it makes me realize how big this is, because what we're doing is extremely different and progressive. But it's also, in my mind, like the fundamental things we should be doing across this nation regardless.
But there's another side to this story. Some say charter schools, operating with little oversight, have succeeded by bending the rules in their favor.
So your shoes cannot have gray on them. They have to be all white or all black.
Critics point in particular to school discipline codes, which charters write themselves.
The rules, like a lot of the schools have rules called like willful disobedience, right? Which is subjective. It's anything I want it to be.
For 10 years, Ashana Bigard has been helping parents navigate the schools here. Her daughters attended local charter schools.
So willful disobedience could be anything from you not tracking the teacher with your eyes to being perceived as coughing too much in the classroom.
The punishment for that is what?
a lot of times suspension.
If you are not meeting these expectations, you are going to be stepping out of this room and you might not come back to this room.
They wasn't interested in trying to help a problem child. I would say that. They wasn't interested in trying in seeing what your issue was at home and why you come to school and why you having a bad day. It was 5 days and go home.
Antonio Travis says 5-day suspensions for minor infractions were the norm at his charter school.
Did you see the students in your class start to disappear?
Yeah, most definitely. From numerous amounts of suspensions, parents would just get tired of it and just take them out to school.
Just 2 years ago, some charters were suspending 40% or more of their students.
They want to have great test scores. If you're a low tester and I really want to get you out of my school, one of the tools that I have seen used is suspension.
While some charged students were being pushed out, others claimed their kids couldn't even get a foot in the door.
The first time we went and applied at a charter school after Katrina, what I heard was, we can't accommodate him.
Sue Bordelon's son, Clark, has autism.
And this was repeated over and over at every charter school we went to.
Parents of students with disabilities took their claims to court and won stricter oversight and regulation. But even before the lawsuit, state officials had begun to reassert control over charter schools, starting with a new centralized system for admissions.
Well, in our central enrollment system, it's agnostic and doesn't know whether or not a kid has a disability. So schools, once you get a kid in the school, this child is assigned to the school, you have to serve that kid.
The approach to discipline is also changing. Any expulsions must now be approved by the state.
But what about suspensions?
Well, they can suspend as much as they want. And if you're 14, 15, 16, and you're on suspension, every 2 weeks, after a while, you're not going to come back to school.
Charters point to declining suspension rates as evidence they're not pushing students out. To keep kids in school and address behavior, some are bringing in more counselors. It's a start, but there's hard work ahead.
I think the next 10 to 15 years is literally around the mental health interventions that we could put in place. Like, do we need more than school psychologists? Maybe we need psychiatrists. Those are the things that traditionally haven't been like the main focus of schools, but we have to look at that.
Raise your hand. What is the first criteria for success?
The difficult work of school reform has also made New Orleans look within.
We have to have like a federalist type of oversight. Government has to play a role and make sure that all students are being served well. But then within that framework, we want to be able to give like individual rights to charters, much like states' rights. That's in essence what we're building.
Whether charter schools can deliver on their promise to provide quality education to all students here remains to be seen. In New Orleans, I'm John Tulenko of Education Week, reporting for the PBS NewsHour.